Bandung is the third largest city in Indonesia, but it's actually the second largest in terms of metropolitan area and population, and that number is actually expected to increase due to easy access to Jakarta thanks to the new Wush train, as the journey is not only very fast, but is also affordable for the masses, thereby making commute that much easier and convenient. Also, Bandung is on a higher altitude surrounded by mountains and volcanoes, thereby making it much cooler than Jakarta. The local climate may have been one of the reasons as to why the Dutch wanted to move the capital from Jakarta to this city, as they once referred to it as the Paris of Java. There are a number of things to see in the Bandung area, especially if you're a fan of natural scenery like volcanoes, mountains, hilly terrains, or even tea gardens. One of the major things to see in the Bandung area is the Tangkuban Perahu, which is a stratovolcano, and this type of volcano is where the outer layers consist of dried lava that have dried up after eruptions, similar to the Mount Fuji in Japan. The last time this volcano erupted was back in 2019. From the highest point, you can enjoy the view of the main crater being the Ratu crater. The other nearby one is a Upas crater, which is difficult to get to due to the steep trek, though it's not always open for visitors due to safety reasons. And then you've got the issue of sulfur toxic emissions as well. Hence, sometimes it's closed, like today. It was closed for us. And the other crater that's directly next to this on the other side is the Domas crater, which is a mere 10-minute walk away, which also happens to be a very pleasant walk. You'll notice there are a number of hot springs here of varying temperatures. Some are blocked entirely as they are boiling hot, as you can see from the bubbles are actually bubbling. So you can't afford to fall in that, let alone put your fingers in there. Though the one at the front is available for a mud bath or just soaking your feet in. The other scenic place in the Bandung area is Kawah, also known in English as the White Crater. This crater is a part of Mount Patuha, which is another stratovolcano, except for that it's not erupted since the 1600s, so it's inactive. This crater for this volcano is one of the more accessible craters due to less safety concerns, as there is no steep walk involved to get here. And the beautiful turquoise colour of the water makes it all the more attractive, and is frequented by visitors, whether domestic or international. There is a very strong smell of sulphur coming from the lake, therefore advised to keep a mask on, though not mandatory. There are a number of trees that have grown in close proximity to the crater itself, not far from the water, as you can see. You can get better views from the pier, though there is the added fee for those Instagram shots or to add on social media, or from higher above, where there is also an extra fee to go there as well. Due to the high elevation of this part of the island, strawberries are actually grown here, which cannot be grown in tropical climates. That's how much cooler this part of Bandung is, or Bandung in general. It's actually much cooler than the rest of the island. So not far from the White Crater is another crater, being the Renganis crater. Though it's not as famous as the White Crater, it does have hot springs, unlike the White Crater. And these hot springs are more accessible than the ones in the Domas crater. As you can see, they're not boiling hot, they're not, bubbling, and you can enjoy mud baths in them as well. And in order to get here from the White Crater, there would be a short drive, and then you would have to walk across a long suspension bridge known as the Renganis Suspension Bridge, which is the largest or the longest in Southeast Asia, being 370 meters long, and it's 75 meters above ground level. So crossing this bridge, you'll have a stunning 360-degree panoramic view of the lush greenery and tea plantations around. And once you're on the other side, you will then take a short elevated trip across, again enjoying the view below. To enjoy the local West Javanese music and live performances and dances, Sang Angklung Ujo is just the place for that, as it's purpose built for anyone, not just for tourists. They have a live band, singers and dancers, and at the end of it, the audience gets given an angklung to participate in the show. The angklung is an instrument handmade using bamboo shoots and put together with smaller pieces of bamboo. So when it's shaken, vibrations resonate, a sound of varying depending on how fast it's shaken. This sound reflects values of simplicity and unity between people and the environment, implied by the fact that this instrument is a simple one made from nature and stuck together from multiple parts. At the end of the show, members of the audience are asked by dancers to go and dance with them on the floor to further participate, but with a live singer. The most bustling part of the city is Braga Jalan, or Braga Street. This is like Bandung's version of Times Square or Leicester Square, where it's always busy and vibrant, especially in the evenings, where there are street performers and vendors selling their hand-drawn artwork of landscapes enjoyed by the local population. The ambience is reminiscent of Europe due to the older buildings built during the Dutch colonial era, similar to that of Kota Tua in Jakarta. This road has a number of restaurants, eateries, bars, dessert shops, and even a mini mall known as the Braga City Walk. There's a lot to choose from in this stretch. So it's only during weekends where vehicles cannot pass through, where it becomes a walking street only, to give space for live performers, as the audience can congregate to enjoy the show, as you can see. At the bottom of this main road, nearby is the Asia-Africa Conference building. This is where one of the post-World War II conferences were held for the development of Asia and African nations, where the merits of communism and capitalism were discussed, and then a 10-point merit declaration was made pertaining coexistence and peaceful relations amongst one another. This conference had notable attendees from Asian and African leaders, including Nehru and China's first Premier Zhou Enlai, where the latter strengthened their relations with neighbouring Asian nations and argued for self-economic determination. China's involvement was pivotal in this conference, so much so to the point where there was an assassination attempt on Zhao's life on his way to this meeting. Gedung Sate building is a government building for the governor for West Java, all of West Java except for Jakarta, despite it being in the western part of the Java island. I understand it's quite confusing. It was to me at the beginning. This was a Dutch colonial era architecture, as you can see, though it has its significance. There are other notable places to visit in the Bandung area, including the Lembang Floating Market or the Glampang Lakeside Rangkabali. But if you're limited on time, then the three I've mentioned would be the must-do. Be sure to make them your primary, and everything else could be your secondary. As for shopping, do not miss out on the Rumah Mode factory outlet. For information, please do research online, and do go by a taxi. Better yet, if you're looking for somewhere to eat, do try the Hummingbird Eatery, as that is probably the most luxurious place I've ever eaten in my life, and the service was second to none, where you were greeted and escorted to a table the moment you enter, and the vastness of this place was shocking. I've never seen anything like this before in my life. And the interior decor, I've uploaded the whole video